Hello there, Seb here from Motorhome Dealer Group, and welcome to this video guide on this particular brand of Volkswagen Transporter cab front seat swiveling base here. This is the offering from MSCraft. Their branding can be seen here on the kick plate just down here. So this is a video guide to show you how to operate this swivel seat base from MSCraft. Now there may be other similar products from other manufacturers out there where this video could potentially apply, but of course this video guide is intended to refer to the MSCraft product here. Now we're not going to be covering any troubleshooting or problem solving in this video, so if you are experiencing issues with your double seat swivel base, then please consult your instruction manuals or seek the help of a technical professional. This really is a quick start video guide just to get you up and running so you know how to swivel this seat base in your Volkswagen camper van. So let's get started. So this seat base is rather simple. It firstly comprises of the original double seat, most likely from Volkswagen, on top of the new base from MSCraft. Now at the rear here, or the living space side, we have three large thumb screws on this side of the base and a kick plate, and I'll show you what's under there very shortly. On the front, you can see it's pretty much clear there. To see the rest of it, we need to actually go inside the seat. So if you didn't know how to lift up a Volkswagen double seat, you lift up from the front here, and the seat will kind of nudge forward like so. We can then push down on the front and it just levers open, and we can see inside the seat base here. And you can see there's a further two thumb screws in here as well. We're going to use a combination of these to basically free up the seat base so that it can be swiveled, and then also to secure it either in the forward or the rear facing position. Now the way the seat is going to work is that we're going to undo the required thumb screws and remove the kick plate. The seat is then going to slide on runners into the living space here, and that's where we will conduct the swivel and then push it back into the cab area, and then we're going to replace the thumb screws and kick plate. So let's do that now. So the first stage is going to be to remove the two thumb screws inside the seat base itself. So there we go, both of the thumb screws are removed. You can keep them somewhere safe for now. We will be using one of those again very shortly. You can see the two holes that they came out of here. There is one more hole at the sort of back of the seat here that we're going to use very shortly. But that's it for now, so we can put the seat back in like so, and we're now going to undo these three just here. So when undoing these, I recommend loosening them off a few turns first, like so, and you should find you can remove then the kick plate, because as you can see here, it is only sort of pushed over or into the bolts with these three channels just here. So once the bolts are loosened enough, this can actually be pulled out, and we can just put that to one side, and we can then continue to remove these three. So that's the three rear thumb screws and kick plate now removed, and you can see the runners just here on either side with a little roller wheel just there, and we can just put all that stuff to one side for now. Again, we are going to be using them shortly. Now this is the stage where we're going to pull the seat back into the living space. Of course the seat is going to move pretty much in a line on the runners, but the swivel mechanism, if I lift up this part of the seat again to show you, is this sort of circular area here that you can see, that circular plate with the screw on top. Essentially that is the pivot point for the seat, so the seat can move around a little bit as it's swiveling. So this is important because it can, you're going to need to line up bolt holes basically, so that little bit of free play is how you're going to achieve that. But let's show you that in action now. So all we're really going to need to do is just to give some effort rearward on the seat, and it should just come back. I'm just using a hand on the top here, as you can see, and it should just slide nicely into the living space like that. Okay, so that's what we're looking at there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to swivel the seat. Now, I don't know if there's a preferred way of doing this from the manufacturer, but as you can see, the nose of the seat just about clears the B-pillar here. Likewise, if you were to swivel it the other way, so the backrest comes round the B-pillar, that seems to clear as well. So I don't think there's a preference really on which way you turn, but all you need to do now is, of course, turn the seat 180 degrees on the swiveling base like so. I was just doing that one-handed, it's that easy. Okay, now what we need to do though is we need to make sure the bolt holes have lined up. So we're looking here to make sure that we can see through all three of those bolt holes, and that will indicate that it has lined up. If it hasn't, you may need to do some sliding around of the seat on the base in order to get those lined up. But with those three lined up, we're all good there. And all we need to do now is just push the seat rearward back into that space, which may be a bit tricky for me to do one-handed because it's just catching on the armrest of the driver's seat there. So I'm going to need two arms to do that, so bear with me. So there we go. We just needed to navigate the rear just round the armrest just there in order to get it back. But as you can see, it's back in the cab area and we can see through all three of those bolt holes. And at this stage, that's when I would get one of your thumb screws and start with the middle first. Put it in, make sure it's nice and free. It's not getting caught on the plate or anything like that. It's a nice clear run into the thread at the bottom. And just get it started and leave probably a few millimeters or more, basically the thickness of this plate plus a little bit more to go. And then we're going to be good there. And then we can get the other two in. So as you can see, we have the other two thumb screws in now and screwed down to just a few millimeters away from the base so that we can slide the kick plate in just a moment. But before we finalize this, what we actually need to do now is to gain access to the internals again. And what we're looking for is this additional bolt hole that's to the rear. This now needs to be lined up with the bolt hole that should have been exposed in this position. So we're going to need to sort of slide the seat around and you can sort of see it just coming into view there. Can you see that? There we go. So we just need to slide the seat around. I'm trying to do this one-handed, but there we go, just so that we can expose that bolt hole completely now. Hopefully you can see that there. If I just move the seat, you can see that there, see? So we just need to move it so that we can gain access to that bolt hole, and we're going to put a thumb screw in there as well. So I'm just going to take a thumb screw here and we're just going to pop that in the hole. And you don't have to go crazy with the tightness here, just get it so that it's just slightly nipped. There we go, that's it. And that just stops the seat from moving around whilst it's in the rearward position. Otherwise it is going to keep jostling around there as people sit down and stand up. So the next stage is going to be to pop the kick plate back on. And providing you've left that sufficient gap there, you should just be able to put this plate here, slide it underneath each of those bolts like that. And then we're just going to start with the middle one. Now wind that tight. It should pinch on the plate there. There we go. Do the other two. And again, these don't have to be crazy tight because again, we're not going driving with the seat in this orientation because you're not supposed to. You can't see out of most of the cab window. You don't drive with the seat swiveled. So it's not really to keep it secure for driving. It really is just to stop it moving around whilst you're you have it in this position and people are obviously using the seat. And you don't even really have to put the kick plate on if you don't want to, but it does obviously look much nicer. And there we go, that is the seat in the swiveled position. So let's now, of course, show you how to get the seat back round into the driving position. So it really doesn't matter which of these you do first, whether you do the three main thumb screws here or the one inside, but I'm going to start with the one inside. So we're just going to undo this thumb screw first. That's the thumb screw out, there we go. So that's that one done. And again, I'm just going to put that to one side. Return the seat base back as it should be. And then we're going to, basically like we did at the very start, we're going to undo these three thumb screws and remove the kick plate. Like so. Put that on one side and then we'll get rid of these three thumb screws as well. So there we go, that's the three main thumb screws removed and again put to one side. And the process is going to be very, very similar. We're going to pull the seat forward, or rearward should I say, into the rear living space, but of course it's facing the other way now. We're then going to swivel the seat, so just turn that around, and again the nose just passes the B pillar there. That's quite good. We just keep swiveling. The seat moves very, very freely on the runners, so when you're doing it one-handed like I am, you can find that the seat travels forwards or backwards on the runner accordingly. But you can see here the bolt holes are pretty much lined up. Again, just like we did when we were lining up the internal bolt hole, if you find these three aren't lining up, you're just going to need to slide the seat around on the base itself in order to get those to line up. But with those three where they are, we can then just push the seat forward again, back into the cab area. And then we do the same as before. We're going to put the centermost thumb screw back in. And then we can put the other two back in. If you feel any metal pinching or cross-threading starting, of course, take the thumb screws back out and readjust to make sure that they have nice, free and easy travel like you can see right there. So that's that. And then we're going to go to the inside of the seat once more. But this time we should have found that we're not lining up that one anymore. We're lining up the two originals here. So we just need to jostle the base around to get those to line up. And we're going to drop the thumb screws in here. And again, these should be nice and free and, you know, sort of screw down nice and easily. If there's any resistance or it feels like any metal on metal grinding or anything like that, stop. And see, that one's a bit, there we go. There was just a little bit of a pinch there. I just had to slide the seat. I just put my hand on here and I gave just a tiny little tug just to move the seat a little bit, and that stopped it rubbing against the screws. So now it's turning nice and freely. And again, just a comfortable pinch. You don't need to over tighten these, just a comfortable hand tighten pinch there. That's those two done. And at that stage, we can then come back to the rear of the seat here. And again, just slide the plate underneath the thumb screws, start with the middle one, pinch it down like that, and then we can do the two to either side. Again, just comfortably finger tight is all we need. Don't have to go crazy, but do make sure they are comfortably finger tight, because of course that is going to be the driving position now, and you don't want that obviously moving around or coming loose when driving. But comfortably hand tight on those three and the two inside, and you should be good. And there we go. That is how to operate the MSCraft Volkswagen double seat swiveling base there. So hopefully you found this video useful. I'm Sev, and thank you very much for watching.